Hello and welcome to the Come Alive podcast. I'm your host, Mehermir Chandani. I'm a mother with a story, a business leader with a vision, and a leadership coach with a mission to transform lives and businesses. I am dedicated to empowering 10x growth in fellow humans by unlocking the transformative power of self-connection. I'm happy to announce a unique collaboration with YPO, MENA, and Regional called Every Journey Has a Story to Tell. It's a 24-episode podcast series of inspiring YPO members. If you'd like to be on the show, please do reach out to me and I'd love to host you. Hello and welcome to the Come Alive podcast. I'm super excited to have Helen Bannayan on my show today. She is the chairman of YPO Middle East and North Africa, founder and CEO of Emulsion Cosmetics. She has built successful business that's making waves in UK and Middle East, while championing the power of people in building sustainable businesses. With her impressive background in engineering and project management, Helen is an inspiring force in both leadership and innovation. I am so happy to have her on my podcast today. Welcome, Helen, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you for hosting me. It's a pleasure and an honor. Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about what made you shift from engineering to cosmetics.
This is a question that I always get. You know, what made you shift from engineering to cosmetics? It's part of two different worlds, completely.
Absolutely.
In many ways, very different, but also in many ways they are similar.
Really?
So for engineering, I was doing material science, which was manufacturing, and I really enjoyed manufacturing. And also in cosmetics, it's the same thing. It's manufacturing, just a different kind of product. Mm-hmm. And I think what really governs both is ingenuity, the ability to build something, thinking about it, looking at it from different angles, and then just taking your business forward. So it was, if you ask me what was the defining moment to change from engineering to cosmetics, it was really by coincidence.
Oh.
Yes. So I started doing cosmetics in my kitchen. I started to experiment, to buy the oils and the herbs and the essential oils and to look up recipes and try them and see, the outcome. It was really fascinating. And I would take it a step further and just sort of give it to some people to try. And they just loved it and they kept asking for more. So I was doing some more for special occasions in Jordan or for my friends, like wedding parties. And it was a very nice hobby. I really found myself in it. And then this is when, I've done it for a while. Then I thought, this could be a good business. And this is why I decided to change to cosmetics.
That's amazing. And that's such a coincidental journey, but I feel you enjoy it so much.
I do. But it was not predetermined. It was just, sort of closing my eyes and jumping into it. It was a leap of faith. And I thought, I'll just take it. I'll take that business and I'll see where I go with it.
And where is the business at right now, Emulsion Cosmetics?
So the Emulsion Cosmetics is a British brand.
Okay.
The company is a British, although I'm Jordanian, but it's sort of based in London. We do all kinds of R&D, cosmetic science, testing, manufacturing, all in the UK. And really the UK because it's a place that I sort of visit very often and I kind of have like a rapport with the people over there. And we export worldwide from the UK.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Love it. And I know it is available in the Middle East as well.
So it's available in Saudi,
okay.
And we're talking to some big distributors here in the UAE, Kuwait, also Oman would be probably next. And Jordan, of course, it's available.
So, what has been the most challenging part of growing or expanding Emulsion Cosmetics?
Let me tell you, the cosmetics line of business is a difficult one. It is really difficult in many ways, in kind of manufacturing, formulations, regulations, testing, things like expiry dates, efficacy testing, home testing, testimonials, a lot of marketing. It is really a wholesome kind of business in its own way. It's not easy, and also you are competing with, some mega brands, huge companies, people who know honestly a lot more than I do in the skincare. Although I sort of built my knowledge in that field, but it is a difficult one. So it has been challenging on all aspects. Emulsion is a customizable skincare brand. So for me to make a difference in people's lives, I was touching their skin in a very unique and special way, whereby we are offering skincare and we're also giving our clients the tools to customize them so that it will suit your skin, personally. It will suit your skin on that particular day of the week. If you've been in the sun, if you've been by the sea, if it has been a hectic week for you, you can change the formulations at home to suit your skin. So a lot of education, that was the biggest challenge part, to educate people about this new concept of mixing, matching, looking to see what difference it makes, listening to your skin. That was the hardest part, really.
And how did you do it? I'm just so interested.
We did it with a lot of beauty advisors, a lot of educational, I would say not a master class, but a lot of speaking to people, going from one pharmacy to another with like our samples, our products. We have some machines to test the skin, to show you exactly what your skin looks like under the microscope, so you can actually make an informed decision on which products you're going to purchase. It was very much door to door, and this is how we slowly started to make an impact. And this is why today in Jordan, for instance, we sell in 400 or 500 doors across the whole of the kingdom.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
amazing. And you are the chairperson of YPO, North Africa and Middle East. So my first question is, how do you do it all? And you are a mother as well?
I am a mother of 3. I'm a married woman with 3 adorable, I wouldn't call them children because they've grown now. They're my buddies, they're my friends, they're my mentors in many ways.
So beautiful.
Yeah. We work as a team all the time. We exchange ideas, we discuss things. And they've also been my support group. So I wouldn't be able to do it all without their support. So I'm very thankful for that.
So, but how do you manage it all? The chairperson of MENA region, the CEO and founder of Emulsion Cosmetics, and a mother, a family person. So I've been asked this question so many times, how do I do it all? So I'd love to know,
how do you do it?
Such a great experience to know from other leaders that how do they do it all, and how do they feel fulfilled at the end of the day?
I do it with a lot of micromanagement. So my days are sort of calculated. My mornings, I know exactly what I need to do. I try and sort of imagine things in my mind and plan ahead, make sure that everything has its slot. Otherwise, it will become a chaos. So I feel I don't procrastinate. I just get on, do it, put the time slot, put it in the calendar, plan it well, ask the right people. And this is how it's done. To be honest with you, YPO is a pleasure. To be in that post is It's a two-way thing. I mean, I know it's a heavy lift for a woman, and also, but it also gives me that pleasure. Giving back to that amazing organization that had actually helped me in so many ways achieve what I have done in Emulsion through its members across the globe. So giving back, learning from them, it's a two-way thing. It's giving back and also learning. These leaders are such mentors. They're so big. You learn from them, and I'm always in awe. How did you do that? How did you come up with that? How can you manage, like you've asked? How do you do it? And I'm always in awe. And really, that networking keeps me going and going for more. So, for instance, we just came back from the leadership meeting in Delhi, where we met the global board and all the members in the networks, and also, sort of the regional chairs, and just sort of rubbing shoulders with them, learning about their experience. It's so inspiring, and that keeps me going. But a lot of planning.
Yes, I think I've come to believe women are great planners, and they have discipline. Like you rightly said, that you have to make time for everything.
Yeah.
If you want it all, you have to make time for everything and prioritizing.
Absolutely.
Exactly like you said, and I believe women are better at this. I've come to believe.
Yeah,
I've come to believe. I don't know why.
I think we learn, whether by choice or not, to become multitaskers, and you just have no time to
Yes,
just waste.
Yes, I agree.
It has to be there.
I agree, and I loved when you said that they are your mentors, your kids,
Absolutely.
your children are your mentors, and like your partners. You
They
share
are.
so many ideas, and I have the same relationship with my twin girls, and they're 12, and I think from a very young age, I come and at dinner, because we always have dinner together, at dinner I update them about my day, that what happened, what happened at work, what happened with my personal growth, what happened with my coaching, what happened with my podcast, and they are so interested, and they give you such great ideas, and it's amazing. Like you said, they're your friends, they're everything, and I love the energy that you have as a mother. It's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
So tell me, what are the biggest leadership lessons you've learned being on the YPO boards?
I've learned to lead. I don't have all the answers to everything, but by sharing experiences, by making sure that the YPO members that I'm sort of, chairing are well equipped, they have the right knowledge, they're able to express themselves, they're able to make a change, do what they have to do, and get the most out of the organization. It's a two-way learning process. It's not one way. It's not like me giving them what they need to know. It's not. It's actually sharing of ideas that sort of creates that leadership character that everybody needs to have. I don't know if I've answered that question in that respect.
That's perfect, right? It's all about collaboration, and it's about
networking, learning from the listening.
Yeah, listening is one of the most, I guess.
Getting shared experiences.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of growth there.
Doing so much, leading a board, managing your business, what keeps you motivated and inspired every single day?
I think I'd like to think that I'm making a difference in someone's life. So in skincare, I'd like to know that I'm touching people's skin, which is a very, very personal thing, and trying to hopefully help them solve something that's so close and dear to their heart. And the same in YPO, if I can make a difference, if I can, facilitate exchange of ideas, it's really a source of self-satisfaction that you can wake up in the morning and do that. So if you don't make a change or a difference, then to me that's not a great day. But if I am able to do that, I feel so fulfilled, so happy. and so energized and inspired.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel that gives us meaning in life. So when you know that you are, like you said, that you're impacting people or contributing, that meaning makes you inspired and motivated to get up and do what you need to do.
Yes.
It's very well said. Thank you
If
so
I
much.
can change, a tiny little bit of anything in someone's life, that's a great achievement in my opinion.
Amazing. Love it. Love it. So what are the values that define you and that are important to you?
I think integrity is a very, very important value. My friends would sometimes tell me that, Helen, you will give us your honest opinion, even if it's against your benefit. It's not going to add value to you, but you will give us your honest opinion. And I really would like to share that, share that way of living, that honesty, transparency, being able to share whatever happens, as facilitating that your team members or your friends or your family can come back to you and feel safe, telling you the honest opinion without having to hide anything. I think that sets a very good leadership role in the surrounding. So integrity is very important. I think empathy is another nice one. In YPO and in business, you meet so many people, such diversity. They are so different in culture, in looks, in even geographical locations. Yet we are all so similar.
So true. Yeah.
So similar in our needs, in our feelings, in our heart, in our, gestures, in our needs. And I think being able to put myself in someone else's shoes and see it from the way they are is very important. It gives me so much clarity and so much vision.
Yeah.
Another one is resilience. Life is difficult. It throws at you so many difficulties. The tip of the iceberg, that picture where everybody sees the tip of the iceberg. It's so beautiful. It's so white. It's glamour. It's money. It's business. It's travel. But underneath that is so much hard work, anxiousness, sleeplessness, anxiety, self-doubt.
Yes.
And really to be able to move on, you really need to continue to just focus on the end goal. Whatever happens, just sort of feel sorry for yourself. It's okay for a couple of minutes, but pack up and move. And I think this is an important thing, especially for women, to just focus on the goal. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just
very
keep
true.
going.
True, I agree.
Yeah.
And I think these are my big ones as well.
Oh, really?
Yes. Integrity and resilience. So persistence, I say. We have to persist. We are here for a mission. We are here for a reason.
Yes.
And it's very important to stay motivated. Keep yourself motivated, because if you don't, then nobody will be there for you anyways, because it's about us. We have to take responsibility to be motivated with resilience, integrity, be ourselves, authenticity, honesty, and keep driving. Keep moving ahead. Like you rightly said, it's beautiful.
So I would sit and think to myself, and I would say, okay, so we have this issue now. What do I do with it? Do I just sit there and let it take over? Or do I just get up and go and move?
Yeah.
And keep going?
Yeah. And empathy. Empathy is one of my values at work as well, because I think empathy and compassion are so needed in the world.
Yes.
And in every area of our life, with our kids, with our team members, with peers and everything. So, beautiful. I love them. Thank you.
Thank you.
So being so successful, did you ever face imposter syndrome in your life?
All the time.
Really?
All the time. Especially at the beginning when I was the founder and the CEO of the concrete business, which is like my engineering background. It was It was a public shareholding company
Oh,
in
wow.
Jordan. It was traded on the Jordanian stock market. And honestly, to start with, I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do with all these, big men who've been there and done that, and they're so experienced, and what am I going to do? Am I good enough? But then again, it was my idea. It was me who wanted to do it. It was me who brought them on board. Then I must be doing something good. I must be. But imposter syndrome all the time. Will I succeed? Will I be good enough?
Yeah.
How will they see me? So also being a woman in a
Yes.
male-dominated business, really.
Yeah.
There's so many times where I just found myself to be there at the only woman.
Yeah.
I remember one time the agent for Mercedes trucks came to me, and we were at that time buying trucks. So we dealt with it and we spoke and everything, and then he went out after we said our goodbyes, and he came back and he said, in my 30 years of career in this business, I've never met a woman who was going to buy a Mercedes truck. And I thought, I didn't see it. He just made me realize,
Yeah.
that was the case.
Wow.
But yeah, it's always there. It's always. It gets better, I think, but it's always there.
Yeah, I feel so as well. So I manage a family business as well, and I have my brother and my father who are really strong personalities working with me, shoulder to shoulder. They give me a lot of respect and they really honor me. But and of course, I have the CFO who's a male. So there are a lot of men in my company as well. I am trying to build a female kind of a female team also. Luckily, my portfolio manager is female. But even then, when they ask me my opinion, I'm like, this is what I feel, but it's always different from what they feel.
Absolutely.
And
I agree.
and when I say that, I do second guess myself. But then I go home, I meditate on it, and I come back and I say, I'm sure. I'm 100% sure this is the way we should go.
Yeah.
And they honor it, they respect it, we go towards that, and it's a success. And I was like, why do I second guess myself?
Yeah.
Why do I doubt myself in the first instance? Because I knew this is how it was supposed to be, but I still told them, let's take a day, I want to come back.
Which is a very smart way of, just making sure that you've got your thoughts in place.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Surprisingly enough, even in the beauty space, it's male dominated.
Really?
Yes.
And when the consumers are more women.
The consumers are more women, but the designers and the manufacturing and the testing and the, regulatory and all of that, even the people who are talking to you and convincing you and the formula creators.
They're all men.
They're not
Mostly.
all, but, it's a very, very high percentage. So when I switched, I thought it's going to be different. It's a little bit different, but not much different. And I feel, when we are discussing something, I always, not always, but most of the time, I can see a different angle that they haven't seen.
Yeah.
And, it's very normal that this would be probably the better angle.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, yes.
So what would be your teaching to young women in businesses, in leadership positions?
You know what? Empowering women is, I wouldn't say it's my mission, because that's too much of a statement. But it's something that I really, really thrive on having. When I was a little girl, and I owe it to my mother, she pushed me all the way. I have one brother, and there's only me. And she and my father always treated us exactly the same. She gave us the same tools, and she pushed us in the same way. And she always said, you can do it. And if you try this, you can do it. And no one's better than you. You can always do what you need to do. And I did that with my daughters. I have 2 daughters and a son. I treat them equally. I push them in the same way. But again, I instill in them that, it doesn't really matter if you're a woman or a man. You can still do what you want to do. It's your dream. If you don't live it, you'll always regret. And you say, what if I've tried? If it's just a matter of, I don't know, maybe it won't work. No, try.
Yeah.
And there's nothing called it won't work. It won't work one way, but you learn from that lesson and you'll move along and do it in another way, and it will work.
Yeah.
So
That's so true.
So it's very important to instill that in women, you know.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So I actually got goosebumps when you said that I owed to my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same with me. I think my parents looked at both me and my brother equally.
Yes.
And that really always gave me courage to come out of my challenges, to see positivity everywhere around me, and actually to accomplish things. I think it was their courage and their parenting that made me lead a beautiful life where today I feel successful. I feel I'm contributing. I feel I am able to impact people around me, be it at work, be it in the world. But yes, I think parents really have a lot to do with how they upbring the children. And I do believe that
Absolutely.
women and men should be treated equally on that front.
Sometimes I just don't like, and forgive me for saying, we're doing women empowerment. We don't do men empowerment, okay? But that's obviously, utopia. That's a perfect world but we need to encourage them and push them to reach to that. But ultimately, I'd like to just humans be empowered generally.
Yes, absolutely.
Irrespective of your gender.
Absolutely. I agree.
And I see in YPO especially, and even in the younger generation, a lot of potential leaders, women leaders. They think beautifully, they go for it, they're fearless.
Yeah.
And this is something I've noticed. Really, they just go for it. And if they're, they have the support of the family, it's been instilled in them, they have the right tools, whether, degrees or training or, character building, then I see no reason for them to not get there.
Yeah,
Eventually.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think this is one experience I felt when I joined YPO. People encouraged the members, YPO members, they encouraged me. I was very conscious of the non-solicitation policy, so I would not speak much about my book or my coaching or things like that. But the members were fantastic. They really brought out the best in me just in 2 years, I want to say. And they made me realize that I have more potential, kind of. And they're like, no, why aren't you speaking about this? And it was very warm, welcoming, and very encouraging.
Yeah.
So I do believe in this power of YPO and how it can help.
But this is the power of YPO. It sort of bring out the best in you. They have that capacity in so many ways, and they do. They throw at you, a big burden and say, deal with it. And sometimes you think, oh my God, how am I going to get there? But you do, and you're so happy once that this is done, and you want to do the same to others. So yes,
Absolutely.
I agree with you. YPO has that, I don't know, sparkle in it.
Absolutely. And they do view men and women equally. So that's the beauty of it.
There's a lot of pushing for women.
Yeah.
There's a lot
They
to try and, make them join, try to bring the percentages much higher. It's actually on their, on their most important agenda.
Amazing. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. So what has been the most defining moment in your life?
There has been many,
Okay.
honestly. But maybe relevant to our conversation earlier on is when I've decided to leave engineering. And by the way, I haven't left it 100%. There's still a tiny little bit of me that's still, working on that and still sort of looking at that as an integral part of my life. So I haven't completely left it. It's just not taking mainstream. And decided to go into a world which was completely new at a relatively not very young age. So it wasn't like I was at university and I did something for a couple of years and then I decided to do that. It was after trialing and working in engineering for so long and then just doing it. It was like, I don't know. I think I must have been sort of in a different space to just decide I'm going to do it. And I did it, and I'm happy to have done that. That was probably one of the key moments in my life.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What's the purpose you're serving?
I really would like to think of making a difference in life, touching people's hearts, trying to make a difference, empowering people. I think that's what I'm looking for. I don't do the YPO, being the chairman and all that kind of work that goes with it. The only driving force is being emotionally fulfilled and trying to make a difference. And this is the way I do everything in my life. I like to just sort of touch someone's heart and make a difference, and maybe baby steps or so. That's my goal.
That's so beautiful, and it's really I feel it really touched me. So thank you for sharing that. What's your role of self-love and self-connection in your life? What's the role of self-love and self-connection in your life? How important it is?
I think you will never be able to fill someone's cup if yours is empty. I think you need to fill your own cup first and then be able to give. And in this very busy life that's taking us by storm, it's very easy to just sort of forget about yourself, forget about your health, forget about your well-being, your emotional stability, the things you like to do. It's very easy to do that because you're just busy. And I think it's very important to take a point and step one step behind and think, I need to do that. That's important to me before it's important to others. I need to do this for me. I have like happy places that I go to. There are happy apps that I go to. For instance, I love cooking. I like house decorating. I love flowers. I love fashion. So I have these small places that are my happy place, even if it's sort of just watching a small movie or going on Pinterest and researching some ideas or maybe going somewhere. That will shift my mental state from being sort of anxious about a certain thing at home or at work or with my kids to just sort of that space. It's not meditation. Meditation is very important, obviously, but it's just somewhere that will take your mind completely of anything around it. And it's very important to define those happy places where you can just sort of in your mind go to them and take that nap, take that break, think of yourself.
And what else do you do for the listeners to?
I am a person with a lot of hobbies, I think. I like to work with my hands. And this is how even cosmetics started. So a couple of years ago, I started doing chocolate at home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and that also spun to a small business that my son is actually taking care of. But I like to try. So I did the chocolate. It was so successful. People fell in love with it. They started to order, and I said, "Listen, this is not a business. I'll give you. I'll send you some. Please try them," and so on and so forth. So, cooking, decorating, doing some event planning for my friends.
Oh, wow.
Completely for free. It's just that it's something I love to do. And I think certain things, if they become a business, it will take from that, spontaneity, your, just being crazy, being yourself, doing something different, doing something out of the box. And so these are the things I like to do as a hobby. I do try and go to the gym as regularly as possible. Although with a lot of travel, that has been a little bit challenging. But yeah, I do that.
So this helps you disconnect and connect back, kind of.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
So, as successful people, we also face a lot of, I would say, fears, regrets, guilt
Yeah.
sometimes. So, before we end, I would like to know and deep dive on, how do you navigate these feelings?
I think guilt is probably the number one feeling I have. Guilt. I always feel guilty. Guilty for doing this, guilty for not doing this, guilty for buying this, guilty for not buying this, guilty for saying this, guilty for judging that. It's just sort of a self reflection all the time. So, guilt is a feeling that is with me all the time, I think.
And what do you do to move away from that? Or
I think I talk to myself a lot.
okay.
I when I go to that my own self, I try to speak to myself as if I'm speaking to someone else, like in the mirror, and I will say, "Well, Helen, you feel bad about this, and why? Tell me why." And then I start to sort of talk to myself. You did it because it wasn't the right thing to say. Maybe you should have been more sensitive to the person in front of you. Maybe you should have observed and read the room a little bit more. Maybe you couldn't afford to buy that. Maybe by doing this, you're wasting, for instance. So I kind of talk to myself and I reflect. And that kind of gives me some clarity to sort of, if I'm in a similar situation, to
Next
maybe
time
do a
to-
better job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am. So, I mean, as a coach, I've learned positive self talk and coaching yourself, positive affirmations, and reflection really helps you navigate and even get better at dealing with something. So, thank you for sharing that so authentically. I think that's very important because what we see, like you say, we always see the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
The listeners, the viewers, we ourselves, we see each other. We see how wonderful you are. But
Yeah.
we also are humans and we do go through the same feelings, and that's why I asked about guilt and fear.
And I think if you're a successful person, you're probably having those feelings and that kind of underneath the tip of the iceberg even more.
Yeah.
And in many ways, if you're the leader and there are some difficulties, you're not only in charge of yourself or your well-being, you're in charge of family members or the people in your organization, making
Absolutely.
sure they're comfortable, they're being paid on time, they're doing their job properly, they're getting feedback in the proper way. So it's not just you. I mean, leadership is not about being the boss.
Yes.
It's about making sure that the people underneath you are getting the rights, they're comfortable, they're feeding their children, and even their mental state is good enough, and they can do what they want to do. So leadership is a challenge. It's a privilege, yes.
Yes.
It's something that you've earned, yes, but it does come with its own baggage.
I agree. I agree. And I think on this journey, we have to be very conscious.
Yes.
So thank you for coming alive on the
Thank
Come
you.
Alive podcast
Thank you. It's
and
been
giving
my
me your
pleasure.
time.
It's
I
my
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
It's wonderful to meet you and learn about Come Alive and the amazing work that you've been doing for the podcast and for YPO.
Thank you.
And I've watched a couple of episodes and I think they're amazing. Good luck and keep going.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
you.
it. Thank you for watching this episode of the Come Alive podcast. If you've enjoyed the show, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell on whichever platform you're hearing it. Would love to hear your thoughts and comments. And until next time, see you soon.